Good evening, everyone. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor McGlasson?
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Totori?
Here.
Councilman Ruffin?
Here.
Councilwoman Batty?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Okay, we're actually going to move some stuff around. The first thing we're going to do is the Comcast franchise agreement. I'm going to open up, I make a motion to open up the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nancy, what are we going to just hold it over till the next meeting? This is,
Well, just open it up and see.
is there any public comment from? No, we did, and then there was a clerical error, so we had to do it again, so that's why it's not in the backup or anything, because we've all seen it like 20 times at this point. No, so we're gonna hold it over till the next meeting, and then that will be it. We will not see it again for another 6 months. Okay.
5 years.
Oh, 5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 6 months. Okay. Any comment on it? No? We're all good? Okay. Just keep it open until?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our first item is our Director of Recreation and Parks, James Hoffman. I'm going to invite him up to introduce himself and to talk about some of the programs that we have coming in the fall time and going on right now.
Can I take this off?
Mm-hmm.
My name's James Hoffman. Thank you, Board, for inviting me tonight so I could speak and introduce myself. I'm the new Director of Recreation and Parks for the town of Kent. We have a lot of interesting and exciting things coming up. The first, we have 3 movie nights taking place. The first is tomorrow, July 20th, here at the Town Center. We're showing Coco. Showing starts around sundown. The second one's taking place August 17th, Back to the Future, here again at Town Center. And then the third one is going to be the start of Community Weekend. That's the weekend of September 9th. And that's going to be Little Giants. And before that, we're going to have a magic show for the children. Community Weekend is September 9th. September 10th, we're going to have vendors and inflatables and food and fun stuff for the kids. And then on September 11th, we are going to have a 9/11 run looking into charities that support the families and victims of 9/11 and have a 5K around town. Also, we have a summer baseball clinic taking place August 8th through 11th with a rain date of the 12th. And that is going to be taking place at Field 1 at Ryan's Field. This is for children ages 7 to 12 years old to come out. We also hired a senior rec leader, Daniel Anderson. Some of the exciting things that we're bringing with that is we're going to utilize those fitness trails at Ryan's Field. And we're going to offer, we have adult boot camp already, but we want to offer more advanced exercise programs, and we're going to utilize those activities at the fitness trails to do that, along with soccer, and we're going to utilize Eustis Field as well. So when soccer is taking place at Ryan's during Saturdays, Eustis Field is going to have USA Sports Group come in and run lacrosse clinics in the morning for ages 3 through 10 or 12, and then flag football in the afternoon, 3 different clinics. So those are some of the things that we're looking forward to, and we're hopefully going to have a brochure out with all the details by August 10th. And it's going to be offered PDF online, and we're going to have it at the events as well, upcoming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for James before he goes away? Hold on, because you're going to stay here for 1 second. So since you're here as well, I think we're gonna move up the Ryan's Park, the electrical panels. Yes. So we can talk a little bit about that. I'll start. We need to upgrade the electrical panels at Ryan's Field. How we've gotten this far with them is beyond me, because in order to turn the lights on, you have to go and turn the circuit breakers on. So at night, it's coaches, anyone is going in there to turn the circuit breakers on for the lights. It's not up to code. So we have to make it up to code, and we have to fix everything, because gonna be a problem if someone gets hurt. I mean, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, no, it just takes away the liability. So if we have a game and we know those games start at 8 o'clock, there is no coaches or anyone going into those closets for Field 3 and Field 1. We have a set digital timer, which is much safer than clicking the circuit. And over time, when you continue doing that, it breaks down the electrical box and the circuit, which could lead to a fire hazard as well, or electrocution. So it's going to be a digital timer set. Game starts at 8. If we know it's over at 10, timer goes until 10:30. It goes off much safer.
It'll also save money because there are the
Yes.
occasions that people
And they-
forget to turn the lights off when they leave.
Yes, it's forgetting to turn the lights off, or they turn them on too early. Games prior, they go on maybe 7:30, and that hour is a huge cost difference as well. So that's going to save a lot of time, money, and also the bulbs, which are very, very expensive.
I got a question about this. You said that, say the game is scheduled to go to 10 o'clock and the lights turn off at 10 o'clock. What if the game is running late and all of a sudden the lights go off while everybody's out there?
Well,
there
we
override
could
to
go
it?
beyond 10:30, we could go till 11, but if it's going late, we will provide our numbers to them, so we could correct it.
Okay, so I guess my question is, what kind of technology is it? With today's technology, I think you can turn your lights on from your home when you're halfway across the country. Is there anything that if somebody calls in and says, hey, we're running late, that from your cell phone, you could add a 30 minutes to it or anything like that?
The technology that incorporates Bluetooth and Wi-Fi would cost a lot more. It would be significant. It would double the price of it. So this is more digital set timers. It's not a dial timer. The digital timer is safer and is more accurate with that. So we could always go over. If the game's going to go till 10, we could push it till 10:45 and 11 o'clock if need be.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for reference, the one for your phone, I think it was around 50 to 60,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So, all right, so why don't we, let me just find that in here.
I got it.
Okay.
Any other discussion on it? On the board?
No? Does anyone on board have?
No comments on it out there? I'd like to make a motion to pass a resolution accepting a quote for electrical panels at Edward Ryan Memorial Park, whereas according to James Hoffman, Director of Recreation and Parks, there is a need for electrical panels at Edward Ryan Memorial Park, Field 1 and Field 3, and whereas consistent with the procurement policy, Mr. Hoffman solicited 3 quotes for the electrical panels for Edward Ryan Memorial Park and received 2 quotes in response, copies of which are annexed hereto and incorporated herein. And whereas Allstate V3.0 Incorporated submitted the lowest quote of $19,800 for the 2 electrical panels. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the quote of Allstate V3.0 Incorporated to provide the electrical panels for Edward Ryan Memorial Park for a price not to exceed $19,800. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Our next item is the Lake Carmel Fire Department would like us to approve the appointment of Owen Fleischman to the active roles of the Lake Carmel Park District, of Lake Carmel Fire Department. I ask the board to approve him tonight. Any comments? Someone want to read the resolution?
I'll do it. Make a motion to adopt a resolution accepting a new member to the Lake Carmel Fire Department. Whereas the Lake Carmel Fire Department has recommended the acceptance of Owen Fleischman as a new member of the Lake Carmel Fire Department, and whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to accept the recommendation of the Lake Carmel Fire Department, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts and welcomes Owen Fleischman as a new member of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item is to advertise for a zoning board member. This would actually be an alternate member, I think. The problem is that they've had to cancel 2 meetings, I think, now because they did not have enough members of the board there for their meetings. So they need to have another one in case that happens, so they have someone else to call because we can't be canceling the meetings like that. So they've asked if we could advertise for a zoning board.
Does the resolution need to say that it's an alternate zoning?
That's what I
board
was just
member?
looking at.
'Cause
I
it doesn't
think
say
it,
that.
no, I think, yes, sorry.
When they did the alternate for the planning board, we had to do like a special resolution for it before you could advertise it. I don't know if that's still the same way. Nance?
I'm sorry, say that again?
When we did the alternate member for the planning board, we had to do a special resolution before you could advertise for an alternate for the zoning board. I was just wondering if it was different.
What was the special resolution for the planning board?
That you had to, like, you had to file it or something that you could have alternates. I don't remember the whole particulars, but it wasn't just putting an alternate on. I was just wondering, I'm not trying to hold it up, I'm just wondering.
I don't remember any of that. I don't,
Oh, it was before, it was.
before me? Okay.
Is that because the code doesn't specify
I
that the
think
committee
that-
can have alternate member, the board can have alternate members?
It would be more than a resolution, it'd have to be a local law to amend
I think
the
that's
town code.
I think it was a local law.
Do you think,
But I'm just saying, maybe it was for both, I don't know, but
we
I just
created
remember.
it for both.
We did make it for
Yeah,
both?
we had it for both. We had
Okay.
two, actually, two for planning and two for zoning.
Okay, I just wanted to
When
make
we,
sure.
when we did that.
Okay.
Thanks, Lana.
Thank you, Lana.
Well, problem not solved. Once we have people apply and we appoint, then the problem will be solved. So, okay, so I just asked that that you guys authorize the town clerk to advertise. Do you want to read it? Mm-hmm.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the town clerk to advertise for zoning board of appeals applicants. Whereas the town board of the town of Kent is seeking to fill a vacancy on the zoning board of appeals, and whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to advertise for applicants for the zoning board of appeals, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes its town clerk, Yolanda D. Capelli, to advertise for applicants to the town of Kent zoning board of appeals. I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item on the agenda is some town code violations that we have. We have 278 Lakeshore Drive East and 11 Hawthorne Road. We're going to take off 32 Cottage Road because that was rectified. But the 278 Lakeshore Drive East and 11 Hawthorne Road. Give you guys all the pictures. Can you see the pictures?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
We have color.
that's the first.
Thank you.
Well, sometimes when they're on black and white, you have no idea what's going on. You can't even see anything, so.
Yes, like mine.
Yes, exactly.
Looks good from here.
Look at this one.
Oh, that one looks good. Looks good.
Any comments? Ready? I'd like to make a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the correcting of violations, acceptance of proposal, and charge to property owners. Whereas the code enforcement officer of the town of Kent issued an order to remedy a violation, the order of remedy, directing the removal of rubbish, excess weed, grass, and brush growth from the properties, 278 Lakeshore Drive East, tax map 33.26-1-46, 11 Hawthorne Road, tax map 33.58-1-34. Whereas the order to remedy requires each owner to correct the violations or respond to the code enforcement office within 10 days, and to date, the owners of the properties have not responded, and whereas pursuant to Chapter 55A of the Town Code of the Town of Kent regarding property maintenance, upon the failure of any owner to comply, the building inspector is authorized to correct the violations subject to the approval of the town board. And the town board wishes to authorize the building inspector to correct the violations. And whereas, consistent with the town's procurement policy, the town of Kent requested 3 written proposals from contractors to correct the violations on the properties, and received 1 proposal in response to each violation, copies of which are annexed hereto and incorporated by reference. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the sole and therefore lowest proposals submitted on the properties as further outlined below, 278 Lakeshore Drive East, $250 from JB Affordable Lawn Care Incorporated, and 11 Hawthorne Road, $125.99 from JB Affordable Lawn Care Incorporated. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the proposals of JB Affordable Lawn Care Incorporated as described above for the total cost not to exceed $375.99. and the proposal of F.I. Adams Incorporated as described, never mind, scratch that part. Be it further resolved that the actual cost of the correction of the violation plus the accrued legal rate of interest from the date of completion of the work shall be charged to the property owners by the town in accordance with Chapter 55A-12, subsection B. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item on the agenda is a stipulation agreement. I am going to invite Bob Bradley up to describe and show us everything, since he knows best.
Good evening, Bob. How are you?
All right. I'm here representing the Hollies on a property called Winkler Farm, which is off Towner's Road. In 1985, there was a Supreme Court decision that allowed on the property that there was to be, I believe, 33 housing units allowed to be built on the property. This has been in and out of the planning board now since 1985. We took this over, or I took it over about a year and a half ago. And we have come to a stipulation with the planning board that we will only build 12 more, units, which would, the total as opposed to 33, it would go down to 19 units. The property is on 11 acres. I won't go into any long detail about the fact of the suit and why there was a suit brought, but it had to do with a change of zoning. Well, this was first brought up. It was brought up by the Winkler family way back when. And it's passed, this problem has passed from owner to owner on the property. The Hollies only want to build, as I said before, they want to build 12 more units where 7 exists, which would be 19. We were in the planning board, I would imagine, for about a year and a half, trying to see if this was a possibility that the planning board would think that this could be done. About a week ago, or I guess 2 weeks ago, they decided that it could be done, and all the consultants said that they liked the property, we could go ahead, that this project could be done. So a stipulation was drawn between the planning board attorney, and it was sent to the Hollies, of which they signed it and passed it on to the planning board, of which the planning board had wanted the town board to sign it, I guess, as to be the next signees, and then it'll be followed by the chairman of the planning board. So if anyone is interested in what this is, I do have a map on it, so I can show you what this looks like. The first thing that we have here is basically what the houses will look like. There'll be 3 units. I can pass this around for you if you want. There'll be 3 units of 4 attached houses that'll look like this. This is the plans for it. They will have 2 bedrooms and they will have 2 baths each. They will have a great room, a bathroom, a kitchen, and they will have a garage, which is kind of unique for rental housing. They won't be sold separately. They aren't condominiums. They're all going to be rental properties. According to the last time I spoke with Putnam County Housing, there were 1,000 people on the waiting list for rentals in Putnam County. So we will only be able to get 12 more, but it's a start. This is, I can show you this. This is what they look like. And on here, this is what it looks like now. There's currently 7 buildings. The entire property is 11 acres. I can get this up, I guess, so everyone will see it up here. Usually there's a easel. So there would be, right now there's 7 units. There's a 3-family building, a 2-family building, and 2 1-family buildings. The property is 11 acres. This is the area that comes up on Haviland Drive. We aren't touching, well, the Hollies are not touching this hillside at all, which is, this slope is too steep. Where we are putting the buildings is where this levels out. It's 100 feet. The stream that comes out of Lake Carmel passes the property. As you can see on this, the stream is here, we're at least a minimum of 100 feet from the stream at any point. The septic is here, that'll handle this building, and it'll handle these two buildings will be handled by this septic. There's 100% expansion on this. So this septic is large enough to handle these units, and there's 100% expansion in case there's a problem. Over here, this unit will be handled by a septic system that goes out this way. If you look over on this side, this is where the town of Kent owns this, and Ryan's Field is on the other side of the stream. So when the path was put in for Ryan's Field, they had spoken with the Hollies about the fact that it comes not that far from their property line where that is. There's a sign here saying it's private property. But basically that's it. We aren't going to, there's no wetland soils here. We've marked where the one small little wetland is. This stream is, if you know the stream that comes out of Lake Carmel, it's quite a bit below the ground level. If this ever flooded, we would all be in trouble and we start building arcs. I mean, this is really about I would say about a 10-foot drop that goes into the stream. So basically that's it in a nutshell. This is what it's going to look like. There's one residence back here where the Hollies live at this point. This will be expanded. And it'll be expanded with one more bedroom. All this has been submitted to the planning board at this time. They have told us it's possible. All the consultants have come out. We've gone through the wetlands with them. We know, according to the stipulation, that we have to go to the Department of Health, we have to go to the city of New York, we have to go through and get all our approvals. So basically what this is doing is, it's settling the fact of the lawsuit. Because the lawsuit, as I said before, it gives the Hollies the right to on this property, to build units far in extent of what is actually going to be built. So we wanted to explain to the town that they're only building 12 units.
So
They aren't building the 33.
So by signing the stipulation, is that locked? Does it end the lawsuit at that number where there's no possibility to come back at any future date and go for the number that was in the?
In the stipulation, it says that that's it.
That's it.
I keep referring to
You got to talk to the microphone back there.
I keep referring to this as we. It's not we, it's the Hollies, are the owners. The stipulation states that we can't come back, nor can any owner that would be subsequent to the Hollies could come back for more. This settles it at 12, and the number of 33 goes away. And if you take a look at the property, I think the idea of 33 was a bit, it was an awful lot to put on the property. This is right off Towner's Road. It's you would never know that it even exists. I think people in town don't even know that the farm exists there or had existed. The farm is from the 1700s, and there's not much left of it. There's absolutely nothing left of the original farm. It's the fact of the land, and which is why it's level, and it's extremely good for septics because it was pasture. So that's what we're asking that the supervisor be allowed to sign the stipulation. I dropped off 4 copies, so each one of the parties will have an original copy. And we'll bring it back to the planning board. It'll be signed by the planning board chairman. And then we have to start the process of the Board of Health and everything else that we need, which is all in the stipulation. All it says is it settles with it, and it settles us at the fact of the 12 units, in addition to what we have. It'll be 19 in total. And basically that's it. And the stipulation refers to the plans that are there. It spells them out. Those are the plans that I just showed you. That's what it refers to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comment?
Bob, are you going to stick around through the end of the meeting? I'd like to talk to you after the meeting about something.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
And then if it's approved, I'll sign everything tonight for you. When it's approved, I'll sign everything, or if it's approved, I'll sign everything for you tonight. And then you can take it with you.
Thank you. Someone want to read it?
Yeah, I'll do. I make a motion to adopt a resolution approving a stipulation. Whereas the town of Kent was party to a litigation involving the parcel known as 18-26 Winkler's Farm Court and identified as tax map number 33:16-1-8, parentheses, the premises, close parentheses, which resulted in a January 30th, 1985 judgment finding that the owners were entitled to construct 27 dwelling units on the premises, in addition to the existing 6 dwelling units. And whereas the owners have been in front of the planning board for site plan approval, and whereas the town board is in receipt of a stipulation as recommended by the planning board, providing that the current application, if approved by the planning board, shall constitute the final approval for the premises in terms of dwelling units and number of bedrooms per dwelling unit. Pursuant to the proposed stipulation, the total site development would not exceed a total of 19 dwelling units with 36 bedrooms and 32 bathrooms in 7 residential structures. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent accepts the recommendation of the planning board and authorizes the town supervisor to execute any and all documents consistent with this resolution in a form approved by the town attorney. I hereby make that resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item is a,
Pink sugar.
what is it?
Pink sugar.
Oh, yep. It is releasing back money to, from the planning board for the escrow amount. It's for Pink Sugar Pastries for the amount of $250. The planning board voted unanimously to return the money. Do you have any-
No, I had no issue with this. We're following it through the planning board. It's fine. It was for a sign that they were doing.
Shall I read?
Go ahead.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing release of an escrow account. Whereas the owner of a parcel of land at 1100 Route 52, Kent, New York, identified as tax map number 12-1-55, parentheses, the lot, has submitted a request to the planning board that the remaining escrow fees for approval of the sign in the amount of $250 be released to the owner. And whereas the planning board, at their meeting held on July 14th, 2022, adopted resolution number 10 recommending the return of the $250 balance of the escrow account, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the release of the remaining escrow fees in the amount of $250 to the owner. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You're up.
I asked the board to approve the following vouchers that were over the threshold for July 19th, 2022.
Chris, before we do that, may I make an addition to the agenda? Or can I do that after you read those?
You could do it right now. Gonna
Okay.
make a motion to add an addition.
Second.
All-
Tell us
yeah,
what it is.
For applying for the soil and water.
All right, so you gotta make a motion.
I make a motion to add an item to the agenda regarding application for a grant for the Soil and Water District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. So in brief, Soil and Water Conservation through Putnam County has a grant request out. And there are various categories, including things that are environmentally related. Gardens is one of the items on the list. The thing that suggested itself in consultation with people such as Bruce Barber would be to, next to the ADA accessible playground that we have here at the town center, we could add an ADA accessible garden. As far as I know, we don't have one in Putnam County. The closest one I know of is down in Rye. Two aspects to that would be that there would be raised beds that are much higher up, so somebody in a wheelchair could have access to those. Also, seniors who can't bend down to the ground to do gardening would have access to those. And you also can have beds that have plants that are, for example, for somebody who's blind, there are things they can touch and smell and so forth. We have staff at the library who are interested in doing horticulture-type programming for the community. So this really suggests that we could have sort of almost like an outdoor classroom Another feature of this would be to have a bed with nectar plants for pollinators. You know, the Cornell Cooperative Extension is promoting this pollinator pathway idea. You can make it be a way station for monarchs by putting in milkweeds along with the nectar flowers. There's actually a monarch way station certification we could go after. So I'm really excited about this project. It's kind of growing in the concept, and we'll have to see whether we can get enough funds out of soil and water to do it. But I would very much like the board to approve our putting in an application for this. And then we would get it costed out. We've already been in touch with a local landscaper and get that to soil and water and see what happens. So I move that we go ahead and apply for this grant.
You're making a motion?
You have to make a
You
motion.
gotta make a motion now to apply for it.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution to apply for this grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I do think it's a good idea. I've been going back and forth with Ann. The trouble is, when you got a good idea, they keep getting bigger and bigger and more expensive. So we just gotta make sure as we plan this in, that we kinda constrain it enough to make it, that we can actually do it.
Yep.
And not scare people away from it.
Yep.
All right, you ready for me now?
Now it's your turn.
Okay. I asked the board to approve the following vouchers that were over the threshold for July 19th, 2022. Beacon Recycling, $3,183.03 for Lake Carmel Recycling. Semco Water, $2,225.18 for Water District Number 2. Global Montello Group, $6,495.13 for fuel, $7,923.17 for fuel, $9,249.62 for fuel, $9,005.20 for fuel, $8,750.37 for fuel. Hogan and Rossi, $10,000 for a retainer for legal services. Insight Engineering, $5,250 for the Lake Carmel Dam. $5,070 for the Lake Carmel Dam, $2,750 for the Lake Carmel Dam, all of which we hope will be going into the portal sometime soon for the $100,000 engineering grant we got for Lake Carmel. $2,950.80 for Ryan's Park driveway entrance, $3,957.40 for the Eustis Park expansion. Intercounty paving, $15,375 for the road key cuts. Kevin Irwin, $3,213 for the special prosecutor. Magna 5 MS, $3,754.50 for network services. Metal building restoration, $105,000, requisition number 5 from Highway Department. New York State Department of Civil Service, $226,510.89 for the health insurance in July. Peckham Industries, $22,646.31 for blacktop. Purchase Power, $3,000 for postage. Rings Squared, $3,551.93 for telephone services. I ask the board to approve the vouchers as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a few announcements. Let's see, let's go in order here. I'm gonna repeat it from when our rec director was here, but tomorrow night, about 8:15, we're gonna be showing Coco in the town square. Then Wednesday, August 17th, Back to the Future, and Friday, September 9th, Little Giants. That's our movie series for Kent. Let's see. On July 30th, it is the Lake Carmel Summer Festival. For Lake Carmel residents, it will be held at Beach 3. There's lots of activities planned, barbecue, swim races, DJ. Am I missing anything, Bobby? What else?
Ice skating, arts and craft, the kayaks will be out again, and it looks like there's going to be some additional surprises, and hopefully a lot of water balloon games this year.
Thank you. And then August 8th through 11th, we have a summer baseball clinic being held at Ryan's Field with Kent Recreation and Hudson Athletics. Ages 7 to 12, you can sign up on our website. And then Saturday, September 17th is our e-waste drop-off day that we are doing with the town of Carmel. It will be held at the Michael Geary Roller Rink in Carmel. And that's all I have.
Is that the one right on Route 6 across from the fire department? I didn't know that was the name of it. Okay.
Anyone else have any announcements?
I just want to talk about the Lake Carmel Park Advisory Board meeting that was held last week. We had our supervising lifeguard there, and we discussed some issues that were going on with some of at the beaches down there. And Chief Owens was there, and we came up with some suggestions for the police department to be more interactive with the lifeguards. And the very next day, they were out there getting out of their cars, talking with the lifeguards, because these are young kids, and they don't always feel comfortable. And I gotta tell you, my daughter being a lifeguard down there, the first thing when she got back in the truck, when I picked her up that day, she was so excited that the police officer had been down there and talked to her, and she was comfortable with it and felt great, and I believe it happened the next day. Over the weekend, I had a resident say that they saw it happening, and I just want to shout out to the police department. Chief, thank you for that. I think it's well observed and well appreciated from the lifeguards down on the beach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Anyone else?
I have nothing.
I have one too. Go ahead, Drew.
No, I have nothing.
Oh, okay.
For change.
I expected to have one. Last meeting, I mentioned that we're seeking photographs from the community to illustrate our natural resources inventory. And I believe there is now, thanks to Rich Harris, there's now a posting on the website. We also have a press release. If you go to the website, there's a link to Dropbox. You can upload your photos there directly. We're looking for nature scenes, things that you feel are beautiful about Kent, pictures of lakes, different animals, plants, whatever suits your fancy. And the criteria for the resolution and the quality of the photos and how they should be labeled and so forth is as part of that announcement. So calling all photographers, please send us your work and we'll put what we can into that document. Thank you. And this will be ongoing through about the first quarter of 2023. We'll still be taking photos.
Great.
I get just one last thing. 17 years ago at 8:20 this morning, my life changed forever. My firstborn was born, so I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Caitlin. Happy birthday, Caitlin.
Happy birthday.
I just embarrassed her in front of the whole world.
Chris, she's not watching this meeting right now.
She might be on her birthday.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just what she's watching on her birthday. Any public comment?
Jackie Stewart from Lake Carmel. This may seem like a really small suggestion, but for all the meetings that are taped, when you see them on the TV or however you watch them, you see everyone's back. So if the podium was moved over there a little bit, you could see. So I would like to strongly make that recommendation to try to do that.
That's
I
not,
mean, we
that's
all
not a
know
bad
what-
idea.
No,
It's a very good idea. I thought when you said see everyone's back, I said, I'll be happy to turn around. I thought
Well, yeah. And the second thing I had discussed with some of the board members a while back, of having the Lake Carmel Advisory meeting on Zoom or whatever. It couldn't be done at the community center. It can certainly be done in this building. And since this is where they'll be meeting, I'm imagining that it could be worked out. People can't, and that meeting is so long. People, they can't always get to the meetings at that time. So,
I don't know anything about technology, so I'm the wrong person to ask
Yeah.
on this, but we can look into
I
it, see if
think-
it's possible. I don't know.
I think Paul does that with like the zoning. Where he did.
On Zoom, I'm not sure.
I know he's not here. I'm like- Okay.
yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Well, we can look
It's not,
into
We can look
on
into
Zoom, it's on, the but all the meetings, the planning board and all of that, you just don't hear half of it and see people's backs, so
Right.
I think it will be more consumer friendly.
Thank you.
We can
Thank
move.
you.
We'll move it.
Sue Kotzer, Town of Kent. I know we got a free bridge.
Yes.
Is anything happening with that free bridge?
Hasn't moved.
Okay.
No,
It's still in storage?
We're,
Yep.
And it's safe in storage?
You can
Yes.
see it from 84. I look at it
I
all the
know.
time.
it's perfectly
So
safe.
you're not doing anything with bridges?
Well-
We're waiting on FEMA. FEMA was supposed to get a, I'm sorry, I responded. We're waiting on the response from the engineering company to get the information we need to continue on with the FEMA project. They were supposed to get us July 1st. We sent a email in to them today saying you're late, what's going on, and asking them for an update.
Okay.
But the bridge is safe.
Bridge is behind a fence.
Yep.
Nobody can steal the bridge without a big, big truck and a
Yes,
big
there's,
crane.
yeah, no one's taking that bridge. Yeah, let them, that's fine. Anyone else?
That's it. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a nice rest of your month.